Hey everybody, it's Pastor Ted, Life Changer Church. Are you reading those Proverbs with me? Today we're on Proverbs chapter 22. Chapter 22. Gosh, I loved it. Once again, I'm not reading the whole chapter. I'm just highlighting verses the Lord spoke to my heart about as I was reading it. And so I know He's not speaking to you about the same verses He's speaking to me about. So it's not so much about me as it is as we're doing this journey together. What's God talking to you about? What's He calling your attention to? So here we are in 22. I love verse 1. Choose a good reputation over great riches. Being held in high esteem is better than silver and gold. That's about values. It's about what's important to us. And having a good name is a big deal to God. So, my goodness. That, He can take care of it. And in verse 3, a prudent man foresees danger and takes precautions. A simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. I try to ask the question, what are the unintended consequences for this decision? And, we've been reading along, and there's a few verses we've seen that talks about don't make decisions out of haste in some of the other Proverbs. So there's some important things there. I want us to go down to verse 15. Let's stop over in verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. In the NLT, direct your children onto the right path, and when they are older, they will not leave it. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean just bring your kids to church and they'll be all right. What it does mean is a parent or a grandparent or maybe an adopted parent or guardian, part of our responsibility is just to observe what's going on with our kids and identify what their gifts and graces are. My friend Joe McGee says God gives gifts to all of us. 1, to glorify God. 2, to make a living. And 3 is to bless other people. And, just have to kind of watch your kids. I have 2 sons, and both of them are different. They're as unique as they can be. Both of them are incredibly gifted, but it's different. They're not the same. They have the same mom and dad, same DNA contributions, but they are different. But each of their gifts are special to them. And so part of my job as a parent was to recognize that and kind of encourage them along those routes and support that. And so we did that, and I think our sons are doing okay today. I love this one in verse 9. Blessed are those who are generous because they feed the poor. My goodness. But I want to get here to verse 15 and talk about it for just maybe 60 seconds. 13, 14. Here we go. A youngster's heart is filled with foolishness, but physical discipline will drive it far away. So 2 things I want to say to you. We are more familiar with this quote. Foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, and the rod of correction will drive it far from him. So 2 things. Number 1, if you are ever administering corporal punishment out of your anger, you are wrong. I would go as far as to say that's sin. If it's your anger that's being expressed and not a desire to help your children understand what they're doing is foolishness and danger, it's a danger to them and others, then that's wrong. You need to deal with your anger, okay? And dealing with anger is not always easy. It's easier to be mad than to be well. It helps us control people, helps push people away, helps us stay sick. Really. But listen, don't ever spank your child out of your anger. The point in corporal punishment is to let your children know that this behavior, this attitude is dangerous, and it will bring pain into their life in the future if they don't make adjustments. So there you go, verse 15. I only have a couple other verses that seem to kind of leap off the page at me. How about this? Don't befriend angry people or associate with hot-tempered people. This is verse 24. Or you will learn to be like them and endanger your soul. So if you know that somebody's hot-headed, somebody's given to anger and being mouthy and stuff, don't be their friend. I mean a close friend, close associate. You can be an acquaintance, but don't spend a lot of time around people like that because you'll catch it. You'll learn to be like them. It's a behavior. You'll learn to be like them. Oh my goodness. And then I'm going to finish with verse 26 today. Don't agree to guarantee another person's debt or put up security for someone else. If you can't pay it, even your bed will be snatched from under you. And so the Bible, especially in Proverbs, is very clear. Don't be a co-signer on a note for somebody. You know, don't agree to guarantee another person's debt or put up security for someone else if you can't pay it. So there will be consequences if they don't pay it and then you can't pay it. Then it's going to be a consequence for you. Now it will be for them too, but the Proverbs talking about you. And so the idea is if you can't give it, don't lend it. And that's my philosophy at the church. When people call me, somebody's asking to loan money, so I said, if you can't give it, don't lend it. If you can give it and then they don't pay it back and you're not mad, just give it anyway. Sow it as a seed. God will honor it. If you're helping somebody, especially somebody that's in distress. But if you can't give it, don't lend it. Because as surely as you do, it'll fracture your relationship. Sooner or later, that behavior will get you in trouble. Okay? Well, there you go. There's Proverbs chapter 22. Hey, listen, guys, 10 o'clock, Sunday morning, live streaming, Life Changer Church. You can get us, you can find it on Facebook or YouTube, at church's website, lifechangerchurch.com. Gosh, we appreciate all of you tuning in and watching and being interactive with us on the internet. Right now, our plan is to have children's ministry available as we go into June. We're shooting for the first Sunday in June. We'll see how things work out. I have a phone call tomorrow, along with every other pastor in the state of Oklahoma, with Governor Stitt, and we'll get some updates at that time. And so we love you guys. God bless you, and look forward to seeing you or you seeing me on Sunday.